Okay, what would you think? Like, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when I say Dragon Ball Z? Or just Dragon Ball in general? Do you think of Super Saiyan, Goku, maybe all the fights? Well, if you got number 3, or fuck it, you could have probably gotten all of them. I'm talking about the fights today. Specifically, one fight that has shaped this series into something more action-paced, and really this fight is the one fight that changes everything. It shows a rivalry between two characters, and it shows the overall deeper story of this entire arc. But what I'm gonna personally talk about today is the deeper meaning between Goku versus Vegeta in the Saiyan Saga. Let's get started. So, most of you probably already know what the deeper meaning should be, but if you guys are a little confused about that, maybe you just watch Dragon Ball just to watch it, you know? Okay, what I mean by deeper meaning is royalty versus peasant. Now, I'm not gonna go on a whole little talk about that, well, I kinda am, but that shit's gonna be boring. So let me just make it more simple for y'all. So, we all know Vegeta's the prince of all Saiyans. That's obvious, right? And we all know Goku is a lower class. He was born into that. And the whole dynamic plot of the entire Saiyan Saga is Goku figuring out that he's a sad Saiyan. But the whole overall story between Goku and Vegeta is rivalry. Someone from royalty versus someone with nothing. Goku was not born with royalty blood. In fact, he was born with the opposite, lower class blood, while Vegeta, on the other hand, was born into royalty. As we see in flashbacks, he had more training. When he was a kid, he was way stronger than Goku when he was a kid. And we even see this power gap when they fight as adults. Even though Goku has done so much training, he still struggles with Vegeta. While Vegeta really, sure, he's done training in the past, but it hasn't been as extreme as Goku's. And he's only basically been using his base, while Goku has to use Kaioken. Basically shows superiority versus, you know, dominant versus submissive, but at the same time it's not really that. It's kind of confusing, but basically it's just a story of how a peasant rose up to even fought the elites. Even hear Vegeta say this. He says literally he's lucky to be fighting him. I would play the clip, but I don't want to risk this video getting copyrighted. This is why the whole footage is kind of blurred, but yeah. Now, when we all hear about stories where people come from nothing and they end up going to the best, kind of like movies like Rocky, hell, Kung Fu Panda. I know there's way more, I'm not, it's like fucking 7 in the morning. I'm not really trying to remember all these movies. Basically, these types of stories is supposed to motivate the viewer into thinking if you try hard enough for your goal, you can even be better than some of the pros at it. Like, say you're drawing something and someone else is just naturally gifted. You have to work for your art. Well, they really just have to try just a little bit, and boom, they have basically better quality than yours. Your goal is obviously to be at least somewhat decent or even equal to said person. That is something that basically shows how Goku and Vegeta works. Because this whole rivalry, like this fight, this power dynamic is what shapes the satisfaction we have in later sagas when they both compete with each other to see who can be stronger, who gets the new form first, everything. And this is the reason why Goku versus Vegeta, why this rivalry specifically works so well. Of course there's other factors, but this whole power dynamic versus royalty versus a subject is what makes the rivalry even better than it already was. Because when we see them power up, be equals, all that, at a point it's satisfying to see Goku being stronger than Vegeta in most points of the story, especially in Z, because sure, Vegeta trained, he earned his power too, but originally it wasn't like that. Vegeta was just always going to be born stronger than Goku because he was royalty. And that just what gives the satisfaction that we see Goku surpass him so many times, because it really shows that it wasn't a one-time thing. If the peasant keeps training, even if the royalty keeps training with him, doing the exact same training, get the exact same forms, the peasant can still come out on top. And that's what pushes the whole narrative between this whole dynamic. because now we know that no matter even if our superiority, we can't let that one win. Of course, it's harder for most people because obviously you can be born with something that can maybe damage your growth, but this isn't about real life at the end of the day. It kind of is, but mostly it's just me yapping about an anime I really like because Dragon Ball really carried my childhood. But anyways, and it's still my favorite anime of all time, even after watching so many others like JJK and One Punch Man. But still, this deeper dynamic is what shows really how Goku is really an inspiring character. And everyone obviously wants to see Vegeta be the main villain, we know, but I don't think if he did be the main villain, it would ruin the dynamic, because we all know Goku would probably beat the next one, or someone. Most likely Goku though, because he's the MC. And with the new arcs coming soon, we obviously know. Well, at least if you read the manga. Enough getting sidetracked. Like I was saying though, peasant versus royalty. No matter if you're built in the gifted family, if someone really works hard enough, they can surpass you. It won't be easy. Never is. But that is something that Goku shows. And this is why he's such an inspiring anime character and why he's so loved by everyone, because he shows how you, yes you, can even surpass people with gifted natural talents. Because if you work hard enough, you can achieve it. I know that sounds a little corny, but it's kind of what the story is. All of Goku's story throughout OG, Z, and Super is just him trying to get stronger and bettering himself. Well, he doesn't really need to better himself, because in Super they made him a fucking idiot and he was already kind of dumb, but yeah, and he's pure heart. But basically, the entirety of Dragon Ball as a whole is about getting stronger, improving, making progress. And that's what Goku does. And this first fight with Vegeta is what shapes up their entire rivalry. Not just because this is their first fight. Of course it has more reasons, that too, but it's the whole dynamic and why it works. I get I'm just kind of yapping now, but like, you guys gotta understand that this is something I'm very passionate about. Dragon Ball as a whole is passionate, right? And this is like my first like video, like long form video I'm actually kind of trying on, so yeah. Anyways, that's all I have to say for today. I know it's a short video, but this is also my first ever long video I'm actually trying on, so cut me some slack. Goku versus Vegeta. It's dynamic. It's what shapes their rivalry till this day. If you want to see more videos like this, then I don't know, like make this video go good, I guess. I don't know. I'm not begging for views, but if y'all want to see more content like this, I'll see you in the views and I'll see you in the comments. Anyways, this is Nick G, out.